All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Sarah, and I'll be conducting today's meeting here at the Quickstop Mall just to go over a little bit about how we're incorporating our new neighbor, Mr. Chris Mitchell, with the new body spa here at Quickstop Mall. Hi, Mr. Chris Mitchell. How are you enjoying your new spot here at Quickstop Mall?
It's been pretty nice so far. There have been some problems that I've been having with my neighbor next to me. We share a wall. It's kind of a poorly constructed wall, so there's a lot of room for bleed through for sounds, and it's been creating a lot of tension in between us, where I feel that, I thought that we could work on forming a relationship to where we could help each other out, but it's just been a lot of back and forth tension building up. And in my mind, I think that we're much stronger if we work together and come to an agreement, and we can both enhance both of our organizations by doing so. So I'm looking forward to settling this dispute.
Okay. I'm so sorry that you're encountering some of those issues. Would you mind telling me a little bit about what's triggering those issues?
Yeah, the printing machines that they use over at Reliable Printing, I'm at places like Kinko's or something like that where the printing is real quiet. All the machinery is super low. And their machinery over there is just really loud and abrasive. And as far as to try and combat that issue, I have 3 meditation sessions a day where I play music and light incense. They're at 9:00 a.m., 1:00 p.m., and 4:00 p.m. And I play music during those meditative sessions. And I know that since I can hear his printers, they can definitely hear my music and the chanting, involved in meditation.
I understand. Okay. Mr. Lee C. Jones and Mr. Lee A. Jones, I'm assuming that you've also been feeling these tension as well. Just want to ask you, how have you been, handling your new neighbor, Mr. Chris Mitchell, with New Body Spa? Mr. Lee C. Jones, if you would like to go first.
Yeah, I can't say I've been enjoying our working relationship thus far either. That really poor wall that's put up between us has certainly become quite an issue for us over for the printing. All of the music and those smells that you have coming over there are certainly getting in the way of the quality of my work experience, which I've been in for 33 years now. And it is something I would like to fix, something I'd like to come to an agreement about, but we will, I guess we'll have to see.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lee C. Jones. Mr. Lee A. Jones, would you like to contribute to how you have been handling or enjoying Mr. Chris Mitchell's?
Well, as Lee A. Jones, and then my sidekick, Lee C. Jones, previously stated, the sounds have been an issue, but the real issue is the smell. And I'm convinced it smells like marijuana, and it's just a really strong smell. And I don't know how we're going to figure out this situation, because it could be driving out customers that we're bringing in if they smell what's coming over from the store next door.
I completely understand.
What was that? I
completely understand your concern.
Yeah, and it's been tough with the printing business. We've been trying to keep up, and I don't know. Changes need to be made, that's for sure.
Thank you for expressing your concerns and possible reasons as to why this tension has been created. Mr. Chris Mitchell, would you like to possibly add on to maybe
Yes. Definitely my main concern is the unnecessary banging on the wall and screaming insults from both Lees, as it's unprofessional, it's unethical, and it harms both of our businesses. If y'all's customers in the print shop see you screaming and banging on the wall at me, they're gonna look at y'all like y'all are crazy, and then my clients see all this happening, and then we can't focus or meditate or clear our mind of what's going on. So that's really my main concern.
Okay. So with that being said, I think that one of the biggest compromises that I'm sure both parties can agree on is a more ethical manner on how to address such tension, is to address each other in a more professional manner from both parties, including you, Mr. Chris Mitchell, and Mr. Lee C. Jones and Lee A. Jones, is to handle these situations in a more ethical manner. And can I get an agreement on all parties?
Yes.
Yes.
I think an agreement would be very beneficial for all of us.
Mr. Chris Mitchell?
I said, oh, my bad. I had it muted. I said yes.
Great. I'm glad that we can all come to a compromise on that matter. All right. And so can we talk about maybe the smell on what's going on with that, Mr. Chris Mitchell?
Yeah. I light incense and play meditative music to kind of just create ambiance, for meditation or meditative sessions. I feel that it kind of helps put you in kind of a transitive mood or a transient mood with the music. It's definitely not marijuana, I can say that for sure, because there would be smoke billowing out of my building if that were the case, and then that would set off the alarms and all this and all that. So there's nothing illegal going on.
Would it be possible to maybe reduce the amount of incense you're burning?
Yes, I could also install fans that could oscillate and kind of, maybe light a little bit less incense.
Good. Was that something, Mr. Lee C. Jones and Mr. Lee A. Jones, is that something you guys can work with?
You can definitely work with fans added. That's definitely going to reduce the smell, I would think. That way it circulates and gets the smell out of the room.
Okay, good.
What about you, Lee A. Jones? Any comments?
No, that works good for the smell bit, but I think the noise is still a big problem that we should talk about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Chris Mitchell, what would you propose as far as the sound? Would you think that maybe lowering it a little bit, or maybe turning the stereo in a different direction, or?
Well, the first thing is that right now I have meditative sessions going on at 9, 1, and 4. Lee's Printing, they close at 5 p.m. and they start, what time do y'all open? What did you say?
Probably 9.
Okay. Yeah, so what I would like to do is I would like to move one of my sessions to a time that is outside of their operating hours. So if y'all close at 5, I can move my 1 o'clock appointment or I can bump my 4 o'clock appointment to 5 whenever y'all close. And then y'all would only have to deal, if y'all still hear me or if there's still problems, I would only be having meditative sessions at 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. And then my final session will begin at 5 p.m. whenever y'all close.
So with a possible lowering of the meditation itself and also moving your last meditation session to an hour outside of their operating hours. Is that something that Mr. Lee C. Jones and Mr. Lee A. Jones, is that something that you guys can work with, or is that still something that is not doable?
That would definitely help. Our big issue with the noise was the session at 4 p.m. because, as you've mentioned earlier, our machines are a bit louder than others, which is something that we are currently working on replacing the older machines with newer machines. So as time goes on in the future, that should become less and less of an issue for both of us.
Really, yeah, we really want to adjust the Kinko's printers in the future. Right now, we're kind of in that process of switching over our older printers, but we really want to switch to Kinko's in the future.
So it really just sounds like something that both of you guys are working on individually for the betterment of both parties. So I think you both are on the same page, and as long as you guys are working in tandem, I think this is an issue that will soon be resolved.
And then I also had another idea of installing the certain type of foam that's used in recording studios for sound isolation. I was gonna put all that foam on that wall, so that way it blocks the sound, and that would even block the smell, I would think, from seeping through that wall. That's just another idea that I had that I could,
I think
Honestly,
that's a very innovative idea. Go ahead, Mr. Lee A. Jones.
Oh yeah, I was just going to elaborate and say that was a fantastic idea. That way you're trying to combat both the smell and the sound at the same time with the wall.
Right. It's
with
just,
the foam.
Yeah, it's just adding that extra insulation, because originally I was wanting to see if we could both ask management to pay for part of the construction of a new, more enforced wall for better sound protection. But I don't know if management would be willing to do that. And then whatever they didn't cover, we would split the difference. But if that can't happen, then I would definitely, that's whenever I started to think, well, what can I do on my part? And that's whenever I came up with the foam, that super thick, sound isolation foam to put on that wall.
I really do like the coming together and encouraging multiple plans in the event of one falling through. So I definitely do like the coming togetherness on this part. Are there any other issues that we need to address today?
No, don't think so.
How are we feeling?
Those were our main concerns. Yeah.
Mr. Chris Mitchell?
Yeah, I just have one more additional statement that I'd like to make about, making amends and everything. Is that, like I said before, I think that we're all much stronger if we work together. Many of my clients are successful business owners with needs that both Lee A and Lee C can meet. So my clients, I can provide them with extra clientele, and then I myself also see my business, needing to use their services. So, I think that we can really kind of bridge the gap here and work together if they can stop being so grumpy.
Oh, Mr. Chris Mitchell.
If you want me to be grumpy, I will.
Because we're old.
I think that last bit of sarcasm was a little bit unnecessary, but in all good humor, of course. Mr. Lee C. Jones and Mr. Lee A. Jones, would you like to add anything else before we close this meeting today?
It looks like both of us were trying to address the issues on our own, so it's good to see that we are it's good to be able to communicate that to each other, so we stop harassing each other as much.
Of course.
I'm so glad that we've opened up a better communication barrier, and that we've addressed the main issues today, and that we are working towards a better goal as a team.
So in conclusion, I will install foam on the crappy wall that we share, and I will place in oscillating fans for the incense, and then I will move one of my appointment times to after the hours of your printing operation.
All right, sounds like a plan. Everyone in agreement?
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with this plan. Sounds good.
Sounds good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. If that's everything for today, I think we're going to go ahead and close this meeting, and I would like to thank you guys for joining me, and that'll be all for today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this mediation.
Thank you.
Thank you as well.